Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a massive shift that is quietly but fundamentally rewiring the corporate world as we know it. Over the last decade or so, artificial intelligence has totally transformed human resources. It's gone from being just a handy little assistant to literally the ultimate gatekeeper of your career. It promises this dazzling efficiency, right? Scanning thousands of resumes in a matter of seconds, setting up interviews while you're fast asleep. But as we dig into the research today, we're going to uncover a pretty profound tension. We're talking about the incredible, lightning-fast speed of AI hiring going head-to-head with its hidden systemic biases. So the big question is, are we building a fairer job market, or are we just teaching machines to replicate our oldest prejudices?
Okay, here is our roadmap for today. We've got 1, the AI hiring revolution, 2, the fairness dilemma, 3, real-world AI case studies, 4, regulating the algorithm, and 5, the human-in-the-loop future. Let's jump right in.
Section 1, the AI hiring revolution, efficiency and automation.
Now, look at this real-world data from companies like Unilever. It is actually wild. We aren't just talking about a tiny tweak in efficiency here. We are talking about advanced systems that can read human language and spot complex patterns, basically doing all the heavy lifting. By fully automating things like resume screening, candidate sourcing, and using chatbots for those initial interviews, companies have chopped down the time it takes to make a hire by a massive 75%. And the administrative costs? Literally cut in half, a 50% decrease. That kind of scalability is just unprecedented. But we really have to hit pause for a second and ask the million-dollar question. Is the machine actually fair? I mean, these massive efficiency gains are undeniably tempting to any business trying to stay competitive, but researchers and civil rights groups are definitely sounding the alarm. We have to wonder, are these huge cost savings coming at the hidden expense of equitable and inclusive hiring?
Which brings us right to Section 2, the fairness dilemma, risk of algorithmic bias.
So there's this huge tug of war happening. It's a stark contrast between operational speed and some really severe risks. On the one hand, we've got the ability to process high-volume hiring and match candidates instantly. Sounds great, right? But on the other hand, we have significant fairness risks. You see, AI doesn't actually think independently. It's just hunting for patterns based on what humans have done in the past, and sometimes it relies on what we call proxy variables. That basically means the AI accidentally penalizes certain groups by zooming in on traits that have absolutely nothing to do with how well you do the job, like maybe the specific zip code you grew up in or a hobby you listed on your resume.
And that leads us straight to an absolutely crucial concept, algorithmic bias. Basically, this is the systematic error that happens when AI models make discriminatory decisions, simply because they learned from historical data that was already filled with human prejudices. Think about it. If an industry historically hired mostly men for technical roles, an AI fed on that past data is going to learn to recognize male traits as a marker of success. It is literally replicating historical discrimination, completely without any conscious intent to do so.
To make things even trickier, a lot of these systems operate inside what computer scientists call a black box. It's like a giant puzzle where data goes in and a candidate is either selected or rejected, but the reasoning inside that box, it's completely hidden. Neither you, the candidate, nor the recruiter can actually explain why the decision was made. And honestly, if you can't explain a decision, how on earth do you challenge it or prove it was fair?
Let's move on to Section 3, real-world AI case studies, successes and failures. Let's see how this actually plays out.
Get this. Even Amazon, an absolute tech giant, totally failed at this early on. Back in 2018, they actually had to completely scrap an AI recruiting tool they built to automate resume screening. Why? Well, because it was trained on 10 years of historically male-dominated tech resumes, the AI actually learned to penalize female candidates. No way, right? It actively downgraded applications just for having phrases like women's chess club captain. It's proof that if your training data is biased, your cutting-edge AI is going to be biased too.
Then there's HireVue, a video interviewing platform, which presents a much more complicated picture. On the efficiency side, it's a massive win. We're talking cutting time to hire by up to 90% for huge places like Goldman Sachs. But it faced a major backlash, including a 2020 FTC complaint from a privacy group. The concern was that algorithms judging facial expressions, voice pitch, and speaking clarity could unwittingly penalize neurodivergent candidates or maybe non-native English speakers. So efficiency was achieved for sure, but at the potential cost of hidden discrimination. It's not all doom and gloom, though. Unilever actually cracked the code on this and found a highly effective success formula. When they were hiring graduates across 50 different countries, they paired AI video interviews with gamified neuroscience assessments. These games measured actual cognitive traits rather than just scanning for traditional resume keywords. But you know what the most vital ingredient was? Mandatory human oversight at every single critical stage. They drastically cut costs and time, but actually managed to increase diversity, all because they paired smart AI with strict human supervision.
LinkedIn Talent Insights is another really cool example. Instead of using AI to directly judge or reject individual candidates, this tool analyzes the broader labor market. It speeds up strategic hiring decisions by 40%. And what's really neat is it actually works to identify and remove biased language in job advertisements before they're even posted. It's a fantastic use of AI to support a fair strategy, rather than just delegating the final judgment of a human being over to a machine.
Moving right along to Section 4. Regulating algorithms, the new legal landscape.
So governments are finally stepping in. They are not letting the tech industry just police itself anymore. For example, in 2023, New York City rolled out Local Law 144. It's this unprecedented municipal rule that forces companies to audit their automated employment decision tools for bias before they even use them. Plus, they have to tell candidates when AI is involved. And on a global scale, the sweeping EU AI Act officially categorizes AI used in recruitment as high risk, demanding strict transparency, human oversight, and really thorough documentation. To keep up with these strict new laws, tech folks are coming up with some exciting breakthroughs in what's known as explainable AI, or XAI for short. We're talking tools with names like SHAP and Lime. Their whole job is to finally crack open that black box we talked about earlier. Instead of getting a simple yes or no from the computer, XAI works backward to show recruiters, and eventually the candidates, exactly which specific features or data points influence the hiring decision. It's a massive leap toward real accountability. We're also seeing the rise of rigorous auditing standards, like the FAIR framework. FAIR stands for Fairness in Resume Evaluation. Think of it kind of like a stress test for the code. It's designed to conduct systematic, pre-deployment tests on algorithms. It explicitly tests the AI to see how its decisions might differ across gender and racial lines. This really helps companies catch and correct any bias programming before it ever impacts a real job seeker.
And that brings us to our final part, Section 5. The human-in-the-loop future, AI augmentation. Ultimately, all the research points to one vital concept, the human in the loop. If you take away anything today, let it be this. The future isn't about total automation. It's about augmentation. AI tools are amazing at doing the heavy lifting, filtering the noise, parsing thousands of resumes, and sorting applicants. But a human recruiter, equipped with empathy, contextual awareness, and good old-fashioned judgment, they must always make the final hiring decision. Keeping us humans in the loop makes sure that your real-world context doesn't just disappear into some cold, unfeeling algorithm. Machines are fantastic at matching keywords and maybe assessing your typing speed, but they absolutely cannot assess the nuance of human potential. They can't measure your ability to overcome adversity or the complex ways you might adapt to a new workplace culture. As the industry experts at Flow Career point out, finding this balance is exactly why smart enterprises choose not to fully automate their hiring. They know that relying 100% on software is basically inviting legal risk, reputation damage, and a massive loss of public trust. The most successful businesses out there are the ones that use AI to give their human recruiters superpowers, not to replace them entirely.
So, look, AI in recruitment is a seriously powerful double-edged sword. It's totally capable of breaking down barriers to entry, but it can also quietly reinforce historic walls. As this tech keeps evolving, constantly evaluating your digital footprint, your resume, and even your video expressions, we have to wonder, how will you prepare for your next machine-mediated job interview? Stay informed, know your rights, and never forget that on the other side of that algorithm, there should always be a human. Thanks for joining us for this explainer. We'll see you next time.